Hi guys, Rihanna here, and I'm back with another episode of Recreate the Conversation. So, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about something that was in one of my previous videos, which is I discussed like having some irritation with Francis because he was trying to send me a gift like as we weren't dating, we were just friends. We had not even met yet, and he wanted to send me a Valentine's Day gift, and I felt some agitation towards that. I didn't want him to, and so I kind of want to unpack my feelings towards that based on a comment that I received from that video asking me to go a little bit deeper about why I may have been responding in that way. And so, as usual, I have my notes here in front of me, so just, bear with me as I may be looking down to look at those. Um, so, receiving gifts and self sabotage, that's what the title of this one will be. For me, there were like three main things that I think contributed to my feelings of like anxiety and not wanting him to send me a gift. I think fear that I may not have deserved it is one of them. Um, why was I getting a gift? Why did I deserve a gift? What had I done? And I think sometimes linking you receiving something because you've done something is a conditioning that we have as children. So, for instance, it's I think it has to do with how society can shape us, and society being your environment, your parenting, your schools that you go to, the people that you're around on a daily basis. You know, when a baby, like a toddler, let's say, does something, we clap. When they do something good, we yay, and we kind of develop this response mechanism in children, and you grow into an adult doing the same thing. And so I was about to get a gift from a man that I was getting to know but didn't really know that well, but I hadn't done anything to get that gift. So in my mind, I was irritated, like, why was I getting it? I didn't do anything. And I feel like that thought of I need to do something in order to receive something is I don't know if the right word is toxic, but it's definitely something that can hold you back, I think. So I wasn't, you know, I was kind of wary of receiving the gift, I think, because I was fearful. Like, why did I deserve a gift? It couldn't be just because I am who I am, and or it wasn't for any of his reasons. I was making it about me, like, why did I deserve that gift? And I think that can, I think it definitely contributed to my anxiety about receiving a gift from him. The second thing that I have is I wasn't accustomed to men who were interested in me gifting me without expecting something in return, I should say. Like I said, I was a virgin before I met Francis, and so a lot of the guys that I was in communication with, I kind of knew right away where their interests were based on conversations that we had had in them trying to get to know me. Um, a lot of times it led to sex in terms of the conversations led to sex, not me having sex with them. And from those conversations, I recognized that if I wasn't going to oblige or somehow end up down that road with them, it didn't really go far. I weeded out a lot of men this way. It's crazy. It's literally like man repellent. um, for a lot of them, it's amazing to me. And so I think that I had a fear of um, you know, here I was being somebody wanted to shower me with a gift, and it was like, okay, so what do I have to do in return? You know what I mean? And there was no expectation of anything in return, and I think I was just on the edge about that. You know what I mean? I and that kind of ties into my third point. I had a fear that I would have to reciprocate in a way that would compromise my purity, because I don't want to have to feel like I owed him something because he got me something. Why is it that we feel that way? What drives that? You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, that reciprocation thing, like, well, he's giving me a gift, I need to give him something in return. And it's funny because I remember having a conversation with a friend of mine, completely unrelated, completely different situation, where um a guy was going to like come visit me, and I was telling my friend about it, and the response was just kind of like, I mean, what man do you know is going to drive all the way down there and like just try to get to know you, like just without sex or anything physical? And I was like, all men should. I mean, I didn't understand that. I knew what was being said, so I understood that, but I didn't understand why it felt like I had to reciprocate something because somebody was making an effort to get to know me. And it was like, if this is what the world is, if this is what dating is, if this is what the scene is, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. And it's just that simple. And I know people think like, oh yeah, say that, but like, as you get older, you'll want to be with someone or whatever and you'll compromise. I don't have to. You don't have to. I think that that is a lie. I don't think that you have to compromise who you are, your belief systems, your values, your core fundamental values. I don't think you have to compromise that to be with a man. And if you are doing that, honey, then you don't need to be. Like, the reason Francis and I have been together as long as we have, which is we've only been together for 5 years, but that's a long time within itself. So I shouldn't say it like that because we have been together for a long time. 5 years is a long time to do anything. Um, so yeah, I don't need to be with somebody for 40 years to see value or whatever like that, or to consider it to be this long time. And in these 5 years, I've learned so much about myself, and I've learned so much about how I, at the beginning, was really sabotaging that relationship because I wasn't used to having a man like that pursue me in a way that didn't compromise my values, that stimulated me mentally and didn't have to stimulate me physically in order for me to be interested. I had never had an interaction with a man like that before. And so it was really refreshing, but also very new, so very scary, right? Um, I want to define self-sabotage because sometimes we can throw the word around, but like, what does it really mean? And so here I have, it can be defined as deliberately obstructing something or preventing the achievement of something. And it's usually yourself that's doing that obstructing. Um, and you're not always aware of it at first. I wasn't aware of it at all. And it kind of hit me. I kept asking myself, like, why am I feeling this way? Because I will sit with myself. I will sit with my feelings and kind of dissect them. I do that. And I mean, I think all people do that though, but maybe not. But I do, and I sit with myself and I'm like, why? Why am I having this feeling towards getting a gift, like whatever it was, which it was roses. He sent roses to me, but it was just like, why was I having such anxiety about that? And I later on figured out that I was sabotaging that potential budding relationship because I had never been in a situation like that before, and I wasn't sure how to respond. And sometimes when you don't know, you fear what you don't know, and so I was fearing whatever could come with that, and I think that that was halting me and making me want to respond in a way of like, oh no, I don't want it, or you don't have to do that, or like, why are you doing that? It was so unnecessary. Um, it was almost like, why is he being so nice to me, as if I don't deserve that. It's so crazy. It's so crazy how things like this happen, and it teaches you like, who conditioned you to think that way? It's not even that it was a person, like the social construct, like what pushed that into you and conditioned you to think that people being nice to you had to be for a reason. It couldn't be that they were just being genuine towards you. It had to be for a reason, and it was something rooted in what you did. That's so ego serving. Um, and I'm a Leo, so I definitely deal with the ego, and I definitely can make things about me, and I can center things to me. But I think everyone does that. I mean, I guess that Leos deal with it on a grander scale because our sign deals with ego and pride, especially. And so it was just kind of hard for me to um, have someone be nice to me, and not because of something I did, I should say. And when we first got married, Francis would always tell me, this is not about you. Like in it'll be like a conversation about something, and we would like be getting into an argument, and he'd have to stop me and be like, hey, this is not about you. This is about this, or this is about that. And in those moments it disarmed me, and I had to realize, like, all right, I got it. And that's what I mean. Like, Francis challenges me in ways that I am appreciative for. Not always in the moment. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and act as if, I just love, how this and that. No, I don't. I have an attitude. I get in a mood. I do silent treatment. I am toxic as heck. Okay? But through me examining myself and my behaviors, I recognized that I was being toxic. I recognized that I was making things about me when it didn't have to be. And they weren't. Not even that they didn't have to be, they weren't about me. And I wasn't allowing someone a chance because of me. And so there are lots of areas in life that we can do this in. And I would challenge you to examine yourself and examine your motives and your mind, your emotions. Question yourself and see if you aren't self sabotaging yourself in areas of your life, you know? Um, so, yeah, I just kind of wanted to come on here and kind of talk about that a little bit today. It's been on my mind. I recorded a video talking about this, but I don't know, the flow today was just different. It was better. And sometimes, it's like I want to record, I may not be in the mood, and I do it because I feel like I have to somewhat. It's like personal. And then it comes out and it's like garbage. It's not really what I was intending to say. However, today, it's like I wasn't even thinking about recording. I was like, you know what? It just kind of popped in my head, like, let me talk about this. And it came out exactly how I wanted it to, if that makes any sense. It's not even that I planned it per se, but it came out just the way it had to. So I appreciate you guys for listening, for keeping up with my videos. This is supposed to be a podcast, and you can still listen to it as a podcast. You don't have to watch the video. In fact, one of the very first podcasts I ever listened to was via YouTube, and it was just a stationary picture and me listening to a woman's voice. That was Paula Pant. She's like one of my gurus in terms of finances and stuff. I kind of look up a lot of the information that she gives. She's very, very good at what she does. And so you can check her out. Just type in Paula Pant and it will come up on YouTube. But yeah, I don't know what this is right now. Right now, I know it's my YouTube channel. Right now, I know it's Rhecreate the Conversation. And I know that I want to just talk more with you, whether it be through video or, just a recording with a picture. Either way, I want to engage with you. I want to talk with you and just continue recreating conversations in our community, amongst women, amongst millennials, amongst whatever, whoever. I just want to keep talking. So thanks so much for joining me, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.